Hey everyone, ready to jump into something kind of unusual today?
Yeah, unusual how?
Where we're going to check out this idea that debating with some people,
Mm.
it's like trying to play chess with a pigeon.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty funny, but
Right.
maybe there's some truth in there too.
Yeah, it could be.
We're going to deep dive into a piece that really unpacks this analogy, you know,
Okay.
in a witty way, in a sightful way.
All right.
See if it really holds up.
Okay, man.
You know, I think this analogy is so popular
Yeah.
because, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to have like a reasonable conversation
Totally.
with someone who just doesn't seem to get basic logic or,
Yeah.
look at the
It's
evidence.
like you're speaking two different languages.
Right, exactly.
So frustrating.
It's like you're both at the same chessboard,
Yeah.
but only one of you actually knows the rules of the game.
Right, right.
So the source starts by reminding us,
Yeah. Yeah.
what a real debate should be. It should be this structured exchange
Uh-huh.
where each side,
Yeah.
respects each other's views,
Right.
listens to the evidence presented,
Good.
and builds arguments logically.
Yeah, there's like an elegance to it.
Right.
A real back and forth,
Right.
relying on like these shared rules.
Exactly.
A willingness to actually like consider the other side.
Oh. It's a give and take.
Yeah, like a dance almost.
Okay, so we've got our elegant tango happening,
Oh, right.
but then our source brings in the pigeon.
Oh.
And suddenly things get a little less elegant, don't they?
Yeah, no kidding.
You're over here, making your thoughtful moves,
Yeah.
strategizing,
Trying to think ahead.
and then suddenly this pigeon just
Yeah.
swoops in, knocks over all the pieces,
Yeah.
struts around.
Doing what pigeons do.
Yeah, exactly.
Chaos.
It is, and it's like this perfect image of that feeling.
Yeah.
Like when someone just blows up any attempt
Yeah.
at a reasoned discussion.
Yeah, you try to like,
They're not playing by the rules.
I don't even know if they know
Yeah.
there are rules.
It's like they're playing a completely different game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what the source makes you wonder.
Okay.
Does this pigeon even realize
Ah.
they're not playing chess?
Yeah, good question.
Are they even trying to win?
Hmm.
Or are they just
Hmm.
happy to make a mess and get a reaction?
It's a good question,
I mean, I've definitely met people online
Oh, yeah.
who seem to thrive on that.
Whole chaos.
Right.
Yeah, and that's like a fascinating psychological question.
Yeah.
What are their motivations?
Yeah.
Well,
What's going on there?
sometimes it could be attention seeking,
Okay.
or maybe just like a genuine inability
Yeah.
to process information logically.
Hmm.
Or sometimes, it could be tied to these really deep beliefs
Okay.
that are practically like immune to reason.
Yeah. You've probably run into this, right?
I mean, definitely.
Especially online.
Oh, all the time.
Like those hot button topics?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever tried to debate someone about,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
say, climate change?
Oh, yeah.
And they just hit you with these
yeah.
totally illogical responses
I know exactly what you mean.
that have nothing to do with the evidence
It's so frustrating.
you're presenting.
Right.
Right.
And that's where it gets so frustrating
Yeah.
because you realize,
Yeah.
it's more than just a lack of logic, right?
Totally, yeah.
It's like you're dealing with
It's deeper.
what they call confirmation bias.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Where people tend to seek out
Right.
and interpret information in a way that just confirms
Yeah.
their pre-existing beliefs, even if those beliefs are contradicted by the evidence.
So they're not even looking at the evidence.
Right. They're just trying to protect
Yeah.
their worldview.
Makes you wonder if those debates are even worth having.
Oh, totally.
The source uses another example to illustrate this.
Yeah.
It's the classic family holiday debate.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay, picture this.
Yeah.
You're having this, pleasant holiday dinner,
Right.
and somehow the conversation turns to
Oh, here we go.
pineapple on pizza.
Oh, my God. The age-old debate. Classic.
Just a lighthearted debate about taste preferences.
Yeah, sure.
And just when things are getting a little heated,
Uh-huh.
your eccentric uncle chimes in
Oh, no.
with this wild historical claim.
Like what?
Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza because the ancient Romans didn't eat it.
Oh, my goodness. Where did that come from?
It's like, how do you even respond to that?
That's the perfect example
Yeah.
of how these pigeon dynamics,
Yeah.
show up.
Even in the most
Mundane settings.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be serious topics.
Right.
It can be about pizza toppings.
it could be about anything.
But the underlying principle is the same.
Yeah, what is that underlying principle?
Yeah. The pigeon isn't interested in engaging
Okay.
in a logical, evidence-based discussion. They're just throwing out these random pronouncements
Okay.
to derail the conversation,
Right.
assert their own opinion,
Okay.
and maybe even get a rise out of you.
And that's where this whole chess with a pigeon idea gets really insightful.
I see that. Yeah.
It's not just a funny analogy.
Right.
It helps us understand
Totally.
why some conversations are just destined to be frustrating
Oh, yeah.
and unproductive.
I hate those.
It really leads to the question then,
Yeah. What's that?
when is it actually wise to just walk away from the chessboard?
Yeah, when is it better to save your energy and
Yeah.
sanity
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
trying to force a game
Right.
that the other side's not even playing?
Okay, so that's where I want to go next.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the key takeaway.
Okay.
Knowing when to disengage.
All right, so how do we actually do that?
Stay tuned for part 2,
Can't wait.
where we delve into the art of gracefully exiting
Ooh,
those chess with a pigeon situations.
sounds good. Okay, so we know sometimes you just got to walk away from the chessboard.
Yeah, but how do we actually do that?
Right, that's the practical question.
It's one thing to know you're in that chess with the pigeon scenario.
Yeah,
But it's another to
totally.
actually disengage
Mhm.
without feeling like you're giving up or
Giving them the win.
letting the pigeon win.
And that's where our source offers some really good insights.
Oh.
It's not about
Okay.
suppressing your passion or avoiding tough conversations.
Gotcha.
It's about being strategic,
Okay.
discerning about where you put your energy.
Right. So instead of forcing the pigeon to play chess,
Right.
we're changing the game.
Precisely.
Okay, like that.
And it starts with recognizing those pigeon tactics as they're happening.
Okay, give me those red flags.
What are the signs?
Yeah.
You're dealing with someone who's not interested in a real exchange of ideas.
Okay, the first one that comes to mind is interrupting.
Ugh, the worst.
Right.
Classic.
Just constantly talking over you.
Yeah.
So you can't even get your point across.
It's like they have no respect
Right.
for the basic rules of conversation.
Right.
The other person's right to speak.
They don't even want to hear it.
They just want to dominate the conversation.
And then you got those folks who just love to throw out random facts and anecdotes
Oh, I know what you mean.
that have nothing to do with the
Yeah.
actual argument.
Like they're playing conversational whack-a-mole.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Every time you try to address one point,
Yeah.
they pop up with something else.
It's exhausting.
Right. It's so
So frustrating.
frustrating.
It's another hallmark
Yeah.
of the pigeon approach.
Okay, so we got the interrupters.
Yeah.
We got the derailers. What about some of the more subtle tactics?
Oh, yeah, they can be sneaky.
Right. Because I feel like sometimes,
Super manipulative.
yeah, super manipulative.
One that's really frustrating
Yeah.
is the goalpost shifting.
Ugh, yes.
You think you've addressed their point.
Right.
You've given them the evidence.
Yeah, I've done the work.
And they just move the target.
Yeah. They're like, well, actually.
Yeah, they come up with a new objection.
Right.
Reframe the argument.
Yeah, so you can
Never
never.
impossible to pin them down.
Right, like nailing jelly to a wall.
Exactly. It's all about obfuscation.
Yeah.
Avoidance.
Right, they're not.
It's not real.
And then there's an even more insidious one,
Oh, yeah, what's that?
the personal attack.
Oh, low blow.
Right, instead of engaging with
Right.
the actual argument.
It happens so much online.
Yeah, especially online.
When they know they can't win,
Yeah.
they try to discredit you as a person,
Exactly.
to undermine your whole position.
The source calls it the ad hominem fallacy.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Attacking the person, not the argument.
The classic pigeon move.
Right, and it's just a sure sign
Yeah.
that you're not dealing with someone who's interested in.
A fair,
Yeah.
honest
Yeah.
exchange of ideas.
Okay, so we've got our list of red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Interrupting, derailing, goalpost shifting, personal attacks.
Right.
But even when we see all this,
Yeah.
it can be
What's
hard
wrong?
to actually disengage,
It can be, especially
especially if we're feeling passionate.
if you're invested.
Right.
That's the challenge. It's not just about
Yeah.
recognizing the tactics.
Right.
It's about managing our own emotional responses.
Right.
Having the self-awareness to
Mhm.
know when you're being pulled into a game,
Yeah.
you can't win.
So how do we build that mental muscle
Right.
to walk away?
Well, I think it starts by asking yourself
Yeah.
some key questions.
Okay. Like what?
Why is this topic so important to you?
Okay.
What are you hoping to achieve
Mm-hmm.
by engaging in this debate?
Right.
And most importantly, is it even possible to achieve those goals
Yeah.
with this person?
Right. So it's not about giving up on the issue. It's about,
being realistic
yeah.
about where you can actually make a difference.
And sometimes that means
Yeah.
recognizing that some people are just not worth the effort.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about like
conserving your energy,
Yeah.
focusing your efforts
Right.
where they can actually have an impact.
Okay.
Sometimes the most impactful thing you can do
Yeah.
is just refuse to engage
Oh,
in a battle that's just designed to drain you.
It's like self-preservation almost, protecting your
mental and emotional well-being,
Yeah.
opting out of those toxic interactions.
The source says disengaging is not a sign of weakness.
Right.
It's a sign of
It's a sign of strength and wisdom.
I like that reframing.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking back your power
Right.
by refusing to play by their rules.
You're not giving them what they want.
But I'll admit, it's still a struggle.
I know it can be.
Because, like, walking away can feel
like you've lost.
Yeah, like you're letting the pigeon win.
Right, but remember, you're not playing their game anymore.
Right.
You're not defining victory or defeat. In the same way, for the pigeon, winning might be getting a reaction, causing chaos, feeling like they dominated.
Yeah, but for us, it's about...
For us, it's about...
something else entirely.
Right, staying true to our values.
Yeah.
Protecting ourselves
and
choosing to engage in conversations that are actually productive, meaningful.
It's a different game.
Exactly. And with that shift in perspective, we can walk away with our dignity. And maybe even a little wiser.
I love that.
Because even if we haven't changed the pigeon's mind, we've learned something about ourselves.
So these pigeon encounters. As frustrating as they can be.
As frustrating as they are.
They're opportunities for growth.
Totally.
They teach us about setting boundaries. Knowing our triggers.
Knowing when to walk away.
Choosing our battles wisely.
And ultimately, they remind us that we can't control how other people behave.
Right.
But we can control our own responses.
I love that.
We have the power to choose how we engage. When we disengage, and how we maintain our own inner peace.
So powerful.
Right.
Okay, let's get practical, though.
Yeah, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
In part 3, we'll explore some concrete strategies.
I'm ready.
For disengaging.
Let's do it.
From these conversations gracefully.
Okay.
How do we make that smooth exit?
Right. Leave the pigeon to their chessboard.
And move on to something more meaningful. All right, so we've explored why we should walk away from these chess with a pigeon situation. But how do we actually do that?
Yeah. How do we gracefully exit?
It's easier said than done.
It is. Yes.
Because sometimes your emotions get involved.
Oh, yeah, you get all fired up.
And the pigeon just keeps...
They know how to push your buttons.
Yeah, they do.
It takes practice.
Okay, so what are some strategies?
Well, one technique that I find really effective is what's called the broken record strategy.
Okay, the broken record strategy.
Yeah. It's simple, but it works.
Okay.
You just calmly restate your position. Once or twice.
Okay.
And then you just refuse to engage further.
So no matter what they say.
Yeah, no matter what the pigeon says.
Right.
You just keep repeating the same phrase.
What kind of phrase?
Like, we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Or, I've said my piece and I'm not going to argue about it further.
I see how that would be effective.
Yeah.
It's like you're putting up a shield.
A verbal shield. Deflecting their attempts.
To pull you back in.
Exactly.
It takes the emotion out of it.
And that's so important. When they're trying to get a rise out of you.
Because it shows you're not playing their game.
Right. You're in control.
Okay. I like that.
Another strategy, especially in social settings, is the humorous deflection.
The humorous deflection. Okay.
You use a bit of humor
to
acknowledge the absurdity of the situation.
Right.
And then you shift the conversation.
Okay. So, like, let's say...
something less contentious.
My uncle is going on about pineapple on pizza.
Oh, yeah. There it is again.
How would I use the humorous deflection?
Well, you could say something like, Uncle, clearly you've done your research on Roman pizza toppings. By the way, speaking of history, did you see that documentary about...
I have that.
And then you changed the topic?
So smooth.
Yeah. You're acknowledging their point.
Right.
But you're not engaging.
Right.
And then you redirect.
Okay, that's brilliant.
But sometimes those subtle approaches just don't work.
Yeah. Sometimes you need...
You might need a more definitive exit.
The nuclear option.
The key there is to stay composed.
Okay.
You can just say, look, I respect your opinion, but I don't think we're going to agree on this.
Okay.
I'm going to excuse myself now.
And just leave.
Yeah. No drama.
Right.
No accusations.
Just a clean break.
Exactly.
That's like taking the high road.
You're showing them,
right?
You're not going to waste your energy.
And that's a victory in itself.
It is. You're not letting them control you.
Right.
You're walking away with your head held high.
And that brings us back to that great point from the source.
Yeah, what's that?
Even when you encounter a pigeon,
right,
you can walk away with your dignity.
And a good story.
That's the beauty of the analogy.
Right. It helps us reframe.
It gives us a framework.
For understanding.
Yeah. And it equips us with these strategies.
Those graceful exit strategies?
Yeah, so we can keep our sanity.
It's all about choice.
So it's like, choose your battles wisely. But now we have the tools to actually do it.
We can spot the pigeons.
We can assess the situation.
And decide how to engage.
Or disengage.
And remember, walking away doesn't mean you've lost.
No.
It means you're choosing to invest your energy.
In something better.
In something more meaningful.
So next time you find yourself
face to face with a pigeon,
take a deep breath.
Assess the situation.
And choose your next move wisely.
You might be surprised.
Yeah.
How much peace you find.
By just walking away from the chessboard.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.
With another thought-provoking topic.
Until then, stay curious and remember.
You hold the power.
On that conversational chessboard.